Welcome back to All Things ETH. My name is Aaron, and on this channel, we talk about all things Ethereum. We talk about projects, NFT, SoFi, DeFi, and price. And today, guys, is your Friend.Tech update of the week. So let's get on into it. I want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, latest news, breaking news is Hero is dumping like crazy. I want to see if he stays in at all, if he's going to dump all of his holdings. Let's refresh this to see what's going on currently with this. Last I saw, Ariane was being dumped, and so still holding 111 keys. So 24 minutes ago was the last dump. Perchance just doing some risk management possibly at this point, but key price is still at 3 ETH, and people are not selling him terribly much. 12 minutes ago was the last sale by Jaws. Jaws was getting dumped on by other people the other day. Richie, in fact, was dumping on Jaws, and Richie is currently dumping on Hero. So that's the latest news. But also today, we got some news about possibly voting being implemented. I think that was on Twitter. Let's go to X real quick and find that. Yeah, the latest from Friend.Tech is this voting system that's going to be implemented. We don't have details yet. Lots of speculation. In fact, we did speculate about this in a Spaces this morning, hosted by Eric, who is a great Friend.Tech grinder. Julio was there. Luke's was supposed to be there. I don't know what happened to Luke's. Need to follow up with him. But shout out to all you guys for grinding so hard and getting your key prices up this week. I also got my key price up this week. I was below 0.2 and now sitting at 0.21, and have dumped a little bit more ETH into the system to do it. I do find that you add a couple ETH, you get dumped on by some of your profit takers, and you got to add a little more until to get that price to stay where it's at. But it's also about grinding, guys. And at this point, it seems like we're over halfway through the beta period, and a lot of people are taking profits. And hopefully most of us, right, stay in and grind this out to the bitter end. Hopefully this voting thing, actually my speculation, guys, is that we might get to vote on some proposals, maybe even make proposals to the system, get them voted on. And if that is a case, let's look into this a little bit from a sticky TVL perspective. I had this interesting idea that if your portfolio value or your holder count weighed in on what your vote counted for, so if you got more voting power for your PV or more voting power for your key price, you may have some more sticky sort of TVL in this regard, right? So if you have more ETH in the system, you might have more voting power. If you have more people buying your key in this space, you might have more voting power. And I think that could be an interesting way for the Friend.Tech team to make sure we stick around, right, after the beta period. If for some reason there are some proposals to vote on, not necessarily based on how many tokens you have, but on your PV and your key value, that would be pretty interesting, and that would really reinforce a lot of those at the top and myself really to keep my ETH in the Friend.Tech system, right? So also on top of that, I would love to see if there was possible ways to make some of the fees back as a user. Say if our voting power or our portfolio value or our key value was able to be staked, something like that. If they don't launch a token, let's say, if they just give us some sort of incentive based on portfolio value or based on our key price that gives us points. Basically, the point system right now being, vaporware, but just being a placeholder for a system to come. That could be interesting, as we could see some sort of fee generation or reinvesting those fees into those who have stuck around or have a great amount of ETH or PV value or key value, right? I think this could be an interesting way of keeping people around. And I think that's pretty much the case for what's next for Friend.Tech. I think over the next 12 or so weeks before the beta period is over, they're going to want to make sure that they keep people on the platform. And TVL has been extremely, extremely consistent. TVL has dropped a little bit today, which is interesting. I do wonder, possibly this is Haro taking some ETH off the table here, along with others. But look at how consistent we've sat at around 22,000 ETH for really since early or late October. So that's been fantastic. In fact, we've been up above that since as late as the 17th of September. So well over 2 months, guys. We've been sitting, or just over 2 months, I should say. We've been sitting at the same or higher TVLs, and I do think that's going to be pretty consistent as long as the Friend.Tech team continues to give us little updates. And the most recent update, actually, I should mention this in our weekly update this week, is these comments, these global comments based on the transaction. So you do have to own the key of the person who commented on the person being sold. So let's go back here and find where my key's at, and let's go into keys. Let's go into your keys, right? And so I can comment on any of these because I do own any of these. So so I can go, let's go to, in fact, here's one that I already commented on. I did sell puts and calls. Puts and calls was my second highest profitable key. Too early, sir. I tend to agree with that, except for the fact that because I own a Board Sharky key, I am able to use Friend Pro. And if you look at puts and calls, let's put in puts and calls here. Puts and calls currently doesn't have any more ETH on the table. So his wallet on Base that is connected to his Friend.Tech account doesn't currently have a sufficient balance of ETH to buy more keys. Now his portfolio value is quite high. I believe, let's see, where is that? Portfolio value is at 6.5, with a price higher than mine at like at 2.248, with a total portfolio value of just 6.5. This tells me that this key is actually likely to drop in value in the near term unless puts and calls decides to put more, deploy more ETH into his account. So I'm going to take profits on it, although we are 3-3ing, so I'm not going to sell my second key, but he has been the most profitable key for me. In fact, I've made some significant gains on this one. I think I bought his key at like 0.002 or something. So I had like thousands of % up on this specific key, and made over 0.2 ETH on the one that I did sell. And if I sold both, I'd make almost half an ETH on this key alone. So anyway, let's get back to the global comments, as this is very interesting. Certainly people are trolling on this. And the funny thing is if you sell out of a key, you don't get to comment on that key after the fact. So let's go to a key that I no longer have. See if we can find one here quickly. Like for some reason, I think I may have been friends with MJ23. If so, I clicked on friends, these are all my friends, or former friends, I should say. And since let's see, like Fragata was somebody that I did own at one point, and I cannot comment on this trade because I didn't own either Fragata or Gordon Bennett. But I can go to Lefty's key, and actually, sorry, I take that back. I don't own Malia's key, so I can't comment on that. So I do have to go to your keys and comment. It's this column, not the left column, but the right column, that makes it possible to comment on these. So yes, obviously, in this situation, Morgie actually doesn't own my key, but he does own puts and calls, so he's able to comment on this transaction. And because I still own a puts and calls key, I can answer his inquiry if I wanted to. I could comment back to him, but I did start the conversation here with just taking profit on one of two keys. Great room, and puts and calls has been a great room. So with that, guys, I'm not sure what else to talk about besides the fact that if you're a grinder out here and you want to up your key, I will be joining more spaces, and I recommend that you do the same. I have gained more key buyers without having to 3-3, having done spaces more than I have otherwise. It seems like every time I do a space, in fact, I did the one this morning, that every time I do a space, there seems to be at least 1 or 2 new people that either reach out to me to 3-3 or buy my key on the spot. And I definitely get more Twitter followers through doing those spaces as well. So make sure to get out there, not only join the spaces, but try to get on stage, guys. Getting on stage really helps you establish your viewpoint, but also gets people familiar with your viewpoint. And if they like you, they'll follow you, and perchance they'll buy your key. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Happy snapshot day. Happy points day tomorrow. Let's hope that you get a higher than normal PPE at the end of the day, guys. And if you're not familiar with Friend.Tech, do check below. I will put some Friend.Tech codes and some invite codes in the description below. But until next time, let's have a great week. Thanks for watching again. Follow me on Twitter. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content just like this, and God bless.